Ready to shine inside out? Welcome to Polished Beauty Podcast, where ambition meets empowerment. We talk business, beauty, brain, body. I am your host, Dr. Daisy Ayim, triple board certified cosmetic surgeon and OBGYN. Let's get polished. This episode of Polished Beauty Podcast is inspired by a current active situation in my life. And I just thought, you know what, this is the perfect episode to have you guys follow along and more importantly, implement some of the things that I'm personally implementing that I have seen worked time and time again. Have you ever found yourself having a setback where literally you have planned for this thing to happen? You have traveled, you have had discussions and laid a timeline and everything seems to be going the way it should. And then all of a sudden it all falls apart, literally in front of you. 4 months, 6 months, 8 months worth of energy, sweat that you've put into it, an idea and concept, transition, a pivot, whatever it is, and it just fluster. And you're like, wow, that's where I am right now. And then it dawned on me, we have 45 days left in 2025 before 2026 comes. And I have to quickly put up those pieces together to make this dream happen in 2026 that I had for myself. So here's some 3 things or nuggets that I want to share with you that you can do in your life right now to make sure that your 2026 is a win. You can absolutely do this. So it's 45 days left. We're actually less than 45 days. And you can start now by implementing 3 things that can elevate your life in 2026. This episode is not about resolution. It's not about pressure. It's not about feeling like you're overwhelmed and you're behind. It's truly about refinement and intentionality for you to have a very solid outcome in 2026. You know, I always say this, a new year doesn't make you new. Your habit does. Your habit does. So we're going to make our new year right now by implementing a habit. So before going into 2025, I want you to have these 3 powerful things that you can use to close out 2025 for yourself. And you're going to close it with clarity, confidence, grounded in gratitude, and have the momentum to start 2026 on a high. So, number 1, are you ready for this? Audit your life like you're a CEO. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. It's very powerful. You have to look at your life and audit it critically and have some sort of direction so that you have emotional clarity. All right? It's very simple to do, but yet one of the hardest things for us to do because we don't have time to really look at ourselves as a business, but we are. We're in the business of self, and so we're going to audit it like a CEO. And the 5 things or 5 areas that I want you to focus on when you're doing this auditing. Without ado, I need for you to audit your habits. That's number 1. Ask yourself this: what routine actually supports me, the woman or man that I'm becoming? What habits drains me or distract me? What behavior is rooted in old versions of who I am and not the new version I'm trying to become? This is where you're going to identify that sneaky habits that steal away your joy, steal away your momentum, and basically just waste your time. Auditing your habits, it's so important. Your habits are either going to be a positive deposit into your emotional bank account or a negative deposit into your emotional bank account. So look at that very closely. Audit your circle. Number 2. One of the biggest level up is who surrounds you. So I need for you to look at that very critically in the next 45 days and see who is lifting you up, who is keeping you stagnant, who is pulling you back, who is pushing you to the side. You really have to have a clear picture: who inspires you, who stabilizes you, who drains you or derails you. Those things, those relationships require some auditing, and we're going to do that in the next 45 days, all right? Create some simple boundaries. It doesn't mean you have to release the person, but sometimes you may. However, starting with boundaries is very important. And remember, to elevate may require some separation. So be very okay with that for your life. I need for you to audit your goals. Where are you trying to go with your life? Look back in 2025 in honesty and ask yourself, do you like the direction that you have led to be where you are at this moment? Look at January, some of the things you wanted to do for yourself. And here you are in November with 45 days left. Have you reached those potential? Have you reached your maximum potential with those visions and ideologies that you had in the beginning of the year? And, just ask yourself, what did I accomplish? What did I learn? What did I outgrow? What still matters deeply to me? And that will allow you to have that internal audit of your goals. I want you to also audit your health. This is the time for you to really look at where you are. The year ending, I'm sure you have insurance. If you don't, you've probably met your deductibles or not. But where are you with your health? Have you gone that screening? Have you gone that lab? Have you checked that hormones? Have you consulted your primary physician? Have you seen your specialist? Is there something on that, your health checkbox that you have not done that needs to be done? So we got to audit our health, all right? And finally, you need to audit your finances. You don't need to be the CFO, the chief financial officer. However, you need to look at your money. Where's your money coming? Where's your money going? What have you spent your money on in 2025? Was it worth it? Where could I have saved a little more? Where could I have spent a little more? So just look at your internal money flow as you audit yourself in the current moment, preparing for 2026. So all of that goes under the first thing that you should do to end 2025 in a powerful way, which is auditing your life as a CEO. Look at every single aspect more critically. Number 2, are you ready for this? Grade one wellness practice. Simple. We're not trying to be a superhero to do multiple things because we're going to crash and burn. I need for you to only pick one wellness practice and elevate it in the next 45 days to set up yourself for 2026. Well, the reason you want to do that is because it's easy to be sustainable with it. It's easy to show up every day for it. And it's easy to keep it going. So you get longevity and momentum. So you're going to ask yourself, well, what else should I do? Well, the science clearly shows us that if we pick one thing and stick with it, our brain internalizes it and our brain actually functions better because it comes back to that repetition of the same action. So, and there's a cohesive outcome when that is done. So what do you get? You get like this domino effect. So if you do that one thing over and over, you get better sleep, clearer skin, improved mood, more productive days, stronger workouts, better metabolic flexibility. So the chain reaction is real. You start with one thing and you just go down the hill. What are some examples of this? Like, what is an example of a wellness practice that you can upgrade or optimize? Only one. Well, strength training. You've heard about it. I've done multiple episodes on it. This is something you can tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to do more of this and elevate that practice. In your 30s, 40s, and 50s and beyond, we need muscle. Muscle is oxygen. So we need to activate it. So you can be like strength training. Let's go into sleep. You can say, you know what? I want to improve my sleep hygiene. I want to sleep better. I want to have deeper sleep. I want to have more meaningful sleep. You have to do those practices. Going to bed without your handheld devices, making sure the light is dim, taking a bath at nighttime, trying to minimize your stress. Another thing you can do is, you know what? I want to clean up my supplement routine. I did a very fantastic episode of supplement culture. And if you're one of those people that are on multiple supplements, you may want to reconsider. Or if you take no supplements, you may want to consider one or two that can optimize a wellness plan for you. Just think about it. Also, Another thing you could do is commit to a morning ritual. It could be working out in the morning. It could be breath work. It could be, I'm going to drink a liter of water after I brush my teeth. Yes, you heard me say that correctly. A liter of water. It could be meditation. And you don't need anything, just a quiet room and meditate. It could be read your Bible or read some inspirational book. So finding something to do in the morning is very helpful. You can decide, I want to walk outside for 5 minutes and just get fresh air, get the sunrise, something to keep you going. The most important thing with this wellness decision is that you want to have some measurable objective outcomes. What are those? Well, with meditation, that's a very measurable outcome. You meditated, you'll feel better. Sauna, at least 15 minutes in a sauna. If you can do 30 minutes, go for it. I've done an episode on that. You can listen to the episode to hear more about it. You can do walking. If you say, I'm going to walk for 5-10 minutes, that's an objective, measurable finding. Therapy, talking to someone, whether it's dialing or a friend or family. Breath work, journaling, buy a book, journal, write about your emotions, your plan. All right. And this one is my favorite of all of it. Just say no to some things. You don't have to be the yes ma'am or the yes man. Just say no on some things. That's part of objective measurements. Okay. So you really want to level up your wellness. And then it could be just your health. You know what? That preventive appointment that you had to schedule, you haven't done it, you can schedule that appointment. You could evaluate your hormones because you're at that time that needs to be done. You can get your pap smear if you've been putting it off for the past year. Get your pap smear. You can get heart screening. You can get bone density. So there's something that you can do in your wellness plan during this time before 2026 comes. As I wrap up this section, the main thing is I want you to pick one wellness plan, commit yourself to it, honor yourself so that you can actually see results by sticking to it consistently. There's no pressure and there's no right way or wrong way to do this. You just do it your way. All right. The third thing to do to have a very powerful 2026 with 45 days left in 2025 is one of the ones that resonate with me currently. And I really wanted to share this episode with you so that you can also hopefully find it useful. It is to set a signature goal. A signature goal is really something that is more concrete, It's not a resolution. It's not a vague intention. It is not, I want to be healthier or I want to make more money. It's none of that. It's basically something that you can accomplish and it will make you look back and say, wow, I did that. Okay. And that wow is going to come with a lot of changes for you in 2026. Big picture is you pick a goal. How do you pick a goal? How do you know what your goal is? Well, we're going to dissect and look at characteristics of what that signature goal should look like. Number one, it should be specific. Number two, it should be energizing. You want to sit up and feel like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It has to align with your core values. It has to align with who you're trying to become. It has to require some growth. So there may be some painful moments in it, but there's going to be growth. It requires for you to create this ripple effect. So starting the signature goal is going to impact so many aspects of your life, and that's what makes it a signature goal. And lastly, if it scares you just a little, that is a signature goal. But your excitement has to be a lot. So it's a balance between being scared and being excited. As you can see, the proportionality of it is not balanced. So you got to have a little bit of, ooh, I don't know about this. At the same time, I got to do this. I really want to do this. I am going to do this. That balance. So what is an example of a signature goal? I'm not going to share what my signature goal is at this moment, but I guarantee you in 2026, you're going to see it. You're going to see the reveal. Again, this was a setback that I'm turning into a setup for 2026. And that inspired me to write this episode. So, what are some examples for you to choose a signature goal? Well, it could be something like, you know what? I want to pay off a certain debt. I have a credit card debt. I have a student loan. I have a childcare debt. I owe someone some money. Whatever. I want to pay that off. That is a signature goal. It could be I want to launch a business. I have this idea that I've been thinking about and I want to launch it. That's a signature goal. Or I want to build something that's consistent, like working out. How do I do it? That is a signature goal. It could be I need to heal a relationship with someone or with food. That's a signature goal because relationships, as we know, is a fundamental building block of self. It could be, I just want to save money. You know what? Beginning of the year, I didn't have much money or I had a lot of money, but it's all gone. So for the next 45 days, I want to have money in my account. I'm going to save as much as possible, especially with a holiday season coming. That is so tempting. That's a good time to have a signature goal and carried it into 2026. You know, it could be training for an event, whether it's a marathon or 5K run or going to do a plunge. Fun fact for me personally, I have a checklist to do cold plunge in 2025. I have 45 days to make this happen, and I will. It could be writing a book. You know, it could be setting boundaries in one key area in your life that you've never really done that before. That's a signature goal. Or it could be traveling somewhere that you've dreamt of. You know, it could be that vacation trip that you've had in your bucket list for some time, or you've heard about it, or you've just had a desire for it. That's a signature goal. The important thing, like I said, it needs to have those characteristics that I've just mentioned to you so that you know how to set that up. Completing of this signature goal is going to be very transformative for you. It's going to be emotional, it's going to be physical, and it's going to be exactly what you need. So the guide to help you through reflecting to choose this goal is I want you to ask yourself some questions and really consider your answers to these questions. Number one, what is the one thing I keep thinking about doing? Number two, what is the one thing that would elevate my life the most? Number three, what is the one thing I've been avoiding to do? Those questions are so internal and reflective that if you really dive into it, you will find your goal, that signature goal in it, right? So your answers to it will help guide you and take it seriously. The important thing is I would suggest that you write down the answers to those questions. Yeah, like a little homework. And then I want you to, once you've decided the signature goal, I want you to break it up into parts. It could be 2 parts, 3 parts, 6 parts. And then I also want you to set timelines in those parts and then your final achievement of the goal. So your timeline could be, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever you want it to be. So set that timeline and then start hustling, execute, working towards it, doing the things to accomplish it, okay? And then you have to create accountability. You have to hold yourself accountable in this signature goal because nobody else will. Nobody's coming to save you. No one is coming to tell you to keep going. You have to hold yourself accountable so that you accomplish the goal in the time frame that you've set. Lastly, I need you to celebrate your wins. What does that mean? Your small wins could be you schedule an appointment for something. You actually show up at the appointment. You had meaningful conversation, meaningful interaction, and then you spring forward to the next one. That's an accomplishment. And I need for you to actually consider that. Okay? Now, you got to review your steps throughout this process. Have some weekly review, monthly review. It could be daily review, but just look overall to see your progress in your signature goal. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is not about being pressured. It's not. It's all about direction. It's all about clarity. It's all about confidence. And women and men, we both are driven, believe it or not, by clarity. So writing this down and having these 3 powerful things you could do before you end 2025 is exactly what will give you the emotional roadmap to walk into 2026 confident and assured of yourself. It's not over. It is not over. So those 3 things I'm going to review again. Audit your life like a CEO. Upgrade one wellness plan. Set a signature goal that defines your year. So it's going to be, I look back in 2026 and says, yes, that goal gave me my year. It changed my year. Now, these 3 things are going to create momentum in your life. It's going to create excitement in your life. It's going to create clarity. It's going to give you emotional peace and balance. And most importantly, they create a foundation for you to enter 2026 already aligned, clock that, already grounded, clock that, already in motion, clock that. So 2026 is not coming by surprise to you. You already have all these things in place for it to happen for you. Powerful. The new year doesn't elevate you. Understand that. It's your daily decisions that do. As I sit here on this episode, again, I was inspired by my own personal setback that just happened recently. This is after months of putting things in place and outsourcing for a good big step that I wanted to take with a professional assistance, right? But that's not what it materialized to. So I am literally on square one today, working on this signature goal alone and really recognizing that I have to make some choices and decisions and pivot in a shorter time frame that I had. And it scares me a little, guys. Like, it really does. But I'm so excited. The excitement is beyond thrilling. And I know I have to take that step. And I have 45 days for this to happen. And by gosh, it's going to happen. I'm going to win. And if you listen to this episode, I know you're going to win because you're going to implement those 3 things and you're going to have the outcome that you deserve and it's ready for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode and thank you for listening. Video recording of this episode will be featured on our YouTube channel, Dr. Daisy Ayim. We are also found on Instagram at Polish Beauty Podcast or at Dr. Daisy Ayim. Remember, new episode drop every Wednesday, so stay tuned. Please like, share, follow.